Good morning. We are going to start soon. 8 minutes have gone in joining. Yesterday we have completed the types of catalysis where we have seen 6 different types of catalytic reactions. The first type is a positive catalysis. Second is a negative catalysis. Third is autocatalysis. Fourth, acid-base catalysis. Fifth, enzyme catalysis. And sixth is induced type of catalysis. All these types that we have studied yesterday are very much important from the examination point of view, because yesterday we have seen that there is much more difference in the classification and the types of catalysis. Catalytic reactions are classified basically into two types, that is homogeneous and heterogeneous. And all homogeneous and heterogeneous catalytic reactions are further grouped into 6 different types that we have studied. We are also aware that the concept of catalysis was coined by J.J. Berzelius in the year 1835. Now, today we are going to study what are the different characteristics associated with the substance that acting as a catalyst. Here it is estimated that not almost all the substances those can be used as a catalyst, but there are certain substances or specific substances which may be used so as to enhance or to increase the speed of a reaction, or sometimes to decrease or to stop or to retard the rate of reaction. So if a substance, if it really acts as a catalyst, then it has to satisfy in on 5 different characteristics. These characteristics I would like to enlist here. The characteristics the characteristics of catalytic reactions that if a substance that really acts as a catalyst, that substance should satisfy these characteristic features. Which are those? The first is the change in physical state. That means if any physical changes are noticed during the course of a catalytic reaction, that we have to observe, which is also known as unchangeability. Unchangeability of reaction. Second is the what should be the amount of catalyst. The amount of catalyst. The third very important characteristic feature is the specificity of catalyst. Specificity of catalyst. Then fourth is the nature of catalytic surface. The nature of catalytic surface. And the last is what should be the temperature to be maintained during the course of catalytic reaction, that is effect of temperature. So these are the 5 important characteristic features which are associated with the substance that really acting as a catalyst. So first is change in physical state, that is we have to see whether any physical changes are noticed during the course of a reaction. Secondly, the amount of catalyst, and thirdly, specificity of catalyst. Fourth is the nature of catalytic surface, and fifth is effect of temperature. Now we have seen numerous number of chemical reactions. where the catalyst is used in one or the other form. We have to see whether in a particular catalytic reaction, the substance that is used in a catalytic reaction, whether any physical changes are noticed or not, that we have to study. As we know that a catalyst operates in a chemical reaction without itself necessarily undergoing any chemical change. So, this substance that acting as a catalyst that does not undergo any chemical change, but it has been estimated that there are certain physical changes are noticed during the course of a catalytic reaction. So, the catalyst retains its same chemical composition before the start of a reaction and after the completion of the reaction. It is seen that only physical changes are noticed during the course of a reaction. Though in many cases, changes throughout the body of the catalyst may also take place. This leads to the fact that a catalyst is an active participant in a chemical reaction. Now, what are the physical changes? Those are to be mentioned here. Take for instance the best known example, this particular chemical reaction that we have studied yesterday while studying the positive catalysis. Here, manganese dioxide is used as a best positive catalyst, and after heating, this gives twice KCl plus thrice O2. So, this is a chemical reaction where manganese dioxide plays a positive role. That means it increases the rate or the velocity of a reaction. Now, during the course of a reaction, the manganese dioxide as a catalyst that appears to be very much crystalline. It is having super fine catalytic surface. But after the completion of this particular reaction, the crystalline or superfine physical appearance of this manganese dioxide that changes into powder form. No doubt here, whatever the quantity of manganese dioxide that is used, the same quantity that is observed at the end. But the physical change that takes place from crystalline to powder form, or sometimes the shiny surface that becomes dull. So the shiny surface that sometimes turns to be dull here. Now, this is happened only when sometimes, say for example, if platinum that is used in the form of a plate form. So here, before the start of this reaction, the surface of platinum that is extremely shiny. But after the completion of this reaction, the surface of platinum that turns to be very much dull, because sometimes unreacted gases they may form an invisible layer which turns the surface of the catalyst somewhat dull. So all these are known as a physical changes. So physical changes are particularly noticed at the surface layer of the catalyst, but the chemical composition of these substances that remains unchanged at the end of a reaction. So this is the reason that the catalyst is an active participant in a chemical reaction. So we can conclude that there is no change takes place substantially during the course of a chemical reaction. No changes takes place, only physical changes noticed at the surface layer of the catalyst. Second point is that the amount of catalyst. We have seen so many reactions where we have mentioned only the name of the catalytic substance or the catalyst, but we have not mentioned any quantity or the amount of the substance that is used as a catalyst. Different scientists were working in the early days worldwide that what should be the amount of catalyst to be used in a particular reaction, and they have found that, say for example, if we want to obtain by the union of hydrogen and oxygen so as to form water, here the quantity of hydrogen and oxygen that is taken is about 2.5 liters. We have to convert the hydrogen and oxygen into water simply by placing the mixture of hydrogen and oxygen in a reaction vessel. They will not combine so as to form water. Now, as compared to the quantity of water, if we want to use a catalyst, here only 1 milligram of platinum powder is used. If during this reaction, if only 1 milligram is less than one pinch that we hold in our fingers, so it is very lesser or negligible quantity that can be used so as to bring about the chemical change of huge quantity of the reactants into the products. Now if we compare the quantity of the reactants with the amount of catalyst, then the amount of catalyst is very negligible. That means just by mere presence of this platinum powder, the union of hydrogen and oxygen is brought about so as to form this water. So one can conclude that during a catalytic reaction, the quantity or the amount of catalyst that is to be used is very small quantity of catalyst is used, which bring about the chemical change of huge quantity of the reactants. Now, the third is the specificity of catalyst. As we know, yesterday we have seen some numerous number of examples of catalytic reactions, either in positive, negative, auto-induced enzyme or acid-base type of catalytic reactions. Here, in all these reactions, I have mentioned a particular substance so as to carry out this particular reaction only. So it is seen that the phenomenon of catalysis, this phenomenon of catalysis is universal. Why it is universal? Because this phenomenon has been accepted worldwide or universally accepted. Secondly, this phenomenon of catalysis is specific. Also, it is selective phenomenon. So the process or the phenomenon of catalysis is universal, specific and selective. What is the meaning of this specific and selective? The meaning of specific and selective phenomenon is that a particular catalyst can be used so as to catalyze a particular reaction only. And why it is selective? If we want to obtain a selected product from the given reactants, then a particular substance that can be used as a catalyst, hence it is a selective. So if we want to obtain a selective or the desired product for the reaction, then a particular catalyst can be used. The meaning of this sentence is that if a substance that is used as a catalyst for one reaction may fail to catalyze another, that means a substance that act as a catalyst for only one reaction, if that particular substance, if it is used for another reaction so as to catalyze, then that substance may fail to catalyze this reaction. This is just like the lock and key arrangement. We know a lock and key. For example, we are having a lock and key. A particular key can unlock a particular lock only. So if we use this particular key for some other locks, then this key may not unlock this lock. That means a particular key can be used so as to unlock a particular lock only. A similar type of phenomenon that is takes place in case of catalytic reaction. A particular catalyst can catalyze a particular reaction. It may fail to catalyze another. For example, in terms of chemical reaction, if we want to represent, then we can represent this as like this. This is known as the formic acid. Perhaps you might be knowing the name of this. This is a formic acid, HCOOH. Now suppose our aim is to obtain carbon dioxide and hydrogen from the decomposition of formic acid, then here copper is the best catalyst that is used so as to decompose formic acid so as to form carbon dioxide. So if we want to obtain carbon dioxide from formic acid decomposition, then copper is the only specific and selective catalyst so as to catalyze this particular reaction. Now, if we keep formic acid as it is, and if we replace this catalyst, that is instead of copper, if we use alumina, that is Al2O3, aluminum oxide, then the products differ markedly from one another. Instead of getting carbon dioxide, we are getting carbon monoxide. Instead of getting hydrogen gas, we will get water. So this is how the products differ markedly from one another. That means the phenomenon of catalysis is universal as it is accepted worldwide, and it is specific and selective because a particular catalyst can catalyze a particular reaction only. The same catalyst may fail to catalyze another reaction. So if copper is used for some another reaction so as to obtain carbon dioxide, then copper may not be used for obtaining carbon dioxide from some other reactants. But copper is the best suitable catalyst so as to obtain carbon dioxide from formic acid decomposition. So this is how the phenomenon of catalysis is universal, specific and selective. Then next aspect of this is the nature of catalytic surface. Just a minute. Now, the fourth type is the nature of catalytic surface, because up till now we have mentioned only the name of the catalyst and we have studied what should be the amount of the catalyst. But what should be the nature of catalytic surface where the efficiency of the catalyst is maximum? So on this catalytic surface, so many reactions or so many researchers they have worked, and they have found that if a particular mass of a catalyst, if it is having a rough surface, or the surface of catalyst if it is spongy, or if the surface of catalyst if it is having large number of physical irregularities, then such type of catalyst is the best catalyst which can be used. And this particular fact that is proved by the scientist F.C. Frank, and almost all the credit that goes to this particular person, that he has found that if a particular catalyst, if it is having a very fine surface, if a particular mass of catalyst, if it is having fine surface, that means it do not possess any physical irregularities. Such type of catalyst does not work efficiently, because a fine surface of a catalyst has very lesser number of rough surface, or it may not be spongy, or it may not be having the physical irregularities. So this scientist F.C. Frank has proved that the number of physical irregularities which are present on the catalytic surface, they add to the active center. This word is very important. The more the number of physical irregularities, the more the number of active centers, and if the active centers are more, then the catalytic efficiency of such type of catalyst is maximum. So more the number of physical irregularities, more will the efficiency of the catalyst. So this scientist has proved that, say for example, take for instance, if we are having a 1 milligram of a substance as a catalyst, for example, platinum. This platinum in the form of a plate, this is a plate form of catalyst. Here only these boundaries or these corners or these edges, either these or this or this. So it is having very less number of physical irregularities. If we convert this particular plate form of platinum in the form of some pellets like this, same mass of catalyst, if it is brought into the pellets form, then this is also having these edges or these corners. They may act as a physical irregularity. They can increase the rate of reaction. But if the same mass of the catalyst, if we make a powder out of it, like this 1 milligram platinum powder, then this powder form of platinum, it is having more number of physical irregularities. Say for example, if we take for instance one of the powder form of this platinum under the microscope, then it is having, this is the tip or all these tips and the edges, they add to the physical irregularity. And the powder form of platinum catalyst, it is having more number of physical irregularities. So this is how the same mass of a catalyst, here this particular mass of catalyst that works very efficiently because the powder form of the same mass of the catalyst has a more number of physical irregularities. So the grain boundaries, crystal edges, corners and all other physical irregularities, they add up to the physical irregularity, and hence the catalytic power is maximum under such circumstances. So there is one process that is known as the Ostwald's process for the manufacture of nitric acid. So the nitric acid that we are using in laboratory, that can be manufactured by using Ostwald's process. Ostwald is the name of the scientist. In this case, when this process was discovered, invented, then initially platinum rhodium in the form of plate was used. But later on it is found that here during this manufacturing process, ammonia and nitric oxide NH3 and NO were used. But the plate form of this platinum rhodium, that that is exposed to the reacting gases, and the unreacted gases, they may lodge permanently on this catalytic surface. And when the unreacted gases, they lodge permanently on this catalytic surface, then the catalytic efficiency will be decreased because of the invisible thin film of unreacted gases. They convert the surface of the catalyst to inactive surface. So this is known as a poisoning of a catalyst. So when a particular substance that gets poisoned due to unreacted gases, then the catalytic power decreases. So later on, Ostwald has discovered that the same mass of catalyst, if he used in the form of a gauze, this gauze form of a same mass of catalyst has these tips or somewhere here uneven surface may be there, where the gases, they are temporarily adsorbed on the catalytic surface. So the same mass of a catalyst, if it is converted, that is plate form is converted in the gauze form, then here we can definitely say that this gauze form has more number of physical irregularities, more number of active centers, hence the catalytic efficiency is a maximum. So catalyst should not be used in a compact or gummy form. A compact form of catalyst has very lesser number of physical irregularities, that means very less number of the active centers. So this is how the scientist F.C. Frank has proved that the physical irregularities, they add to the active centers. And the last characteristic, that is the effect of temperature. What should be the temperature to be maintained during the course of a chemical reaction or during the course of a catalytic reaction? We have seen so many times that In the beginning of this topic, I have given you the chemical reaction, that is oxidation of sulfur dioxide into sulfur trioxide. This is the chemical reaction that can be brought about into atmospheric oxygen. Here, vanadium pentoxide was used as a catalyst, but in addition to vanadium pentoxide, the temperature also plays a very important role. To work efficiently, this particular catalyst, the temperature should be in between 425 to 450 degrees centigrade, or in the manufacture of ammonia, for example, N2 plus thrice H2 gives twice NH3. In this case, ferric oxide is used as a best positive catalyst, but the efficiency of this catalyst is maximum when the temperature is maintained at about 500 to 550 degrees centigrade. So these are the temperature range which are known as the optimum temperature range, at which the yield of the product is maximum and the efficiency of the catalyst is also maximum at this optimum temperature range. So the word optimum means the temperature should not fall below 425, or the temperature should not be increased above 450 degrees centigrade in case of contact process, or the same is true for the Haber's process for the manufacture of ammonia. Here, the temperature should not fall below 500 degrees centigrade, or it should not increase 550 degrees centigrade. So this is how for every reaction there is a most optimum temperature, or sometimes, say for example, if we take for instance, this is a reaction vessel where we have kept the reactants A and B, and here platinum, if it is acting in the form of a colloidal particles. Colloidal means dispersion of solid into liquid or into gaseous state. This is known as a colloidal. So colloidal form of platinum, that in presence of this colloidal form of platinum, the reactants A and B, they unite to form the product as AB. And this particular formation of the product as AB, that is possible at a particular temperature. At a particular temperature, just a minute. At a particular temperature range, this particular platinum as a catalyst that works efficiently. But if the temperature increased beyond a certain limit, then the colloidal form of platinum, which is in the form of colloidal, that means this platinum that converts this A and B into AB during this collision. But if the temperature is increased enormously, then colloidal particles, they may get coagulate. Coagulate means it is a physical phenomena, formation of bigger aggregates and to settle down at the bottom. So when this platinum in the form of colloid, by increasing temperature, that alters the physical form and colloidal form is converted into coagulation. So when this platinum that settles down at the bottom, that definitely reduces the yield of the product. That means the catalytic efficiency is also lowered, that causes its colloidal form. So this is how the catalyst that works efficiently during a particular optimum temperature range. So if a temperature that is increased beyond this limit, then the physical form may be altered, that reduces the catalytic power. So this is how we have completed the characteristics of reactions, where we have studied that in all 5 characteristic features that we have studied today, that is the first, the change in physical state. There is no change in physical state takes place. That means only surface layer changes are taking place. That means the catalyst remains unchangeable. The second, is the amount of catalyst. The amount of catalyst that is used is very less, a negligible quantity of the negligible amount of catalyst that can be used so as to convert huge huge quantity of the reactants into products. The third, specificity of the catalyst. As we know that the phenomenon of catalysis is universal, selective and specific. A particular catalyst can catalyze a particular reaction only if a substance that acts as a catalyst for one reaction may fail to catalyze another reaction. Then the nature of catalytic surface. We have seen the large number of physical irregularities which are present on the catalytic surface. They add to the physical irregularity. So more the number of physical irregularities, more will be the active centers and more will be the efficiency of the catalyst. And this particular fact that is proved by F.C. Frank. And fifth, last characteristic that we have studied is the effect of temperature. So for every catalytic reaction, there must be an optimum temperature range at which the yield of the product is maximum. So this is how we have finished today's characteristic features of the catalytic reaction. We shall stop here. Thank you very much.